Hey there, you fabulous cultured folks. Welcome back to Cultured Captions, where the plot thickens and the story isn't the only thing with rising action. If you're enjoying our content, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe to stay ahead of the curves in this story. And trust me, you don't want to miss the wild twists and turns we've got coming up. So, grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's dive right back deep into the culture.
The story begins with two soldiers clad in armor, holding spears, standing in a dense forest. Their faces reflect a mixture of determination and fear as they confront an unexpected threat. One of them, evidently frustrated by the situation, exclaims, "Damn it, why is a wild bear in a place like this?" His companion, seizing the moment of hesitation, urges him to take action, seize the opportunity, and finish it off. But the situation takes a dramatic turn as the bear, a massive and ferocious beast, charges at them, its roar echoing through the woods. The bear's sheer size and ferocity are overwhelming, causing one of the soldiers to express his disbelief. It's impossible, Captain." Despite the odds, the captain, with resolve etched on his face, insists, "Let's do this," for they must stop the bear before it threatens the main road. As the bear looms closer, the tension mounts. The soldiers, struggling with their fear, are on the brink of being overwhelmed when a mysterious figure steps out from the shadows. This new character, cloaked in a hooded cape, calmly approaches the scene, his presence causing the soldiers to gasp in surprise. "Excuse me," he says nonchalantly, seemingly unaffected by the bear's terrifying presence. One of the soldiers, still clutching his spear, questions the stranger. "Can I help you?" The hooded figure, undeterred by the imminent danger, responds with calmness, "You seem to be in trouble." His words carry a weight that suggests he is no ordinary bystander. The soldiers, bewildered by his calm demeanor, wonder aloud whether they should take down the bear together. But the hooded man, with a knowing glance, reveals the harsh truth. "In this cursed land, even strong people like you can't take on a wild bear." Without hesitation, the hooded figure springs into action. The bear, sensing a new threat, lets out a guttural roar, but he is swift and precise, dodging its powerful attacks with ease. His movements are fluid, almost as if he's dancing with death. With keen eyes, our hero observes the bear's vulnerable points, avoiding its tough skull and targeting the relatively softer parts. His strategy is methodical and efficient. The battle culminates in a breathtaking moment where, with a final decisive blow, the bear is vanquished. The bear, mid-roar, falls lifeless behind the victorious figure, who stands unscathed, his sword gleaming in the light. His face, now revealed, is that of a seasoned warrior, someone who has seen and survived in the demonic realm. With the danger past, the soldiers are left in awe of this stranger. The scene shifts to Makyo's next interaction, where he casually approaches the two soldiers. With a friendly smile, he greets them. "Hello." He asks the soldiers, "Are you from the training facility?" The soldiers ask him who he is, but he just has a simple request for them. He wants to exchange the monster meat or magic stones for seeds, specifically wheat or vegetable seeds. The soldiers, still processing the encounter, are unsure of what to make of him. "Yes, but who exactly are you?" one of them finally manages to ask. Makyo, unfazed by their curiosity, continues to discuss his needs. "If possible, I'd also like to exchange them for charcoal and paper," he adds, revealing a bag full of goods. His casual demeanor and the abundance of supplies he carries suggest that his trading is going well according to plan. He is now well prepared and experienced in surviving the harsh conditions of this land. Despite this, he admits, "But there are still many places I haven't been to." Makyo muses, "By the way, that soldier seemed quite surprised, didn't he?" as he reflects on the earlier encounter. As the story progresses, we see Makyo contemplating his own strength. "I wonder when I became so strong," he ponders, attributing his growth to the harsh realities of living in the cursed land surrounded by tough enemies. His thoughts reveal a man who has been hardened by his environment, forced into situations where only the strong survive. He realizes that he has been so focused on hunting and survival that he hasn't bathed in a while, a moment of lightheartedness amidst the grim setting. With a slight smile, he hopes, "Hope I don't stink too much," before refreshing himself in the river. Makyo's brief moment of peace is captured as he washes in the river. "Phew, feels refreshing," he exclaims, enjoying the rare luxury of cleanliness. but his mind quickly shifts back to the task at hand. Maybe it's time to start serious farming, he decides, recognizing the importance of self-sufficiency in this unforgiving land. The seeds he obtained earlier are a crucial part of his plan. As he surveys the land, ready to begin, he remarks, "Got a lot to do." His determination is palpable as he sets to work, clearing the ground and preparing it for planting. However, his newfound focus on farming is abruptly interrupted by an unexpected visitor. A gigantic turtle, its massive form looming over his small plot of land. "Whoa! It's huge," he exclaims. Startled by the sheer size of the creature, the turtle, oblivious to Makyo's concerns, begins to trample through the farm, threatening to undo all his hard work. "Hey, don't come this way!" he shouts in a futile attempt to divert the turtle. His frustration mounts as he desperately tries to steer the creature away from his crops. "You'll mess up the farm," he yells, his voice tinged with desperation. He starts attacking the giant turtle, but the turtle tosses him aside with ease. In a comedic turn of events, Makyo finds himself in a muddy situation. "I just washed and now," he mutters in exasperation, as the turtle continues on its way, oblivious to the chaos it's caused. Makyo, now covered in muck, is the picture of frustration. Despite his best efforts to maintain his composure, the situation has clearly gotten the better of him. But his determination does not waver. He quickly regains his footing, ready to face the giant. The turtle continues to march forward, undeterred by Makyo's attempts to stop it. The turtle gets stuck in the mud and begins to tumble. "It got caught in the swamp and fell," he says, incredulous of his luck. The turtle upside down, unable to get back up. "At this rate, it'll just become meat," he says. But the story takes a surprising turn when Makyo, now safely out of the swamp, finds himself enjoying a meal made from the very turtle that had caused him so much trouble. As he savors the delicious meat and irresistible soup, his perspective shifts. With a satisfied expression, he recalls, well, there's a note about turtles in PJ's notebook. The turtle, he remembers, is called a haze turtle. Makyo's earlier frustration is replaced by a sense of opportunity as he realizes the potential value of the creature. Once caught, it could even become a pet, he muses, his mind now fully focused on the possibilities. Despite the turtle's formidable appearance, it is considered very weak in the cursed land, making Makyo question his own ability to survive in the demonic realm. With his next objective in mind, Makyo sets out on a new journey, this time with the sea as his destination. "All right, today's exploration target is the sea," he declares with renewed vigor. He's almost out of salt, a crucial resource for preserving his food supplies, and knows he must reach the coast to replenish his stock. As he makes his way towards the sea, he also takes time to draw maps, carefully documenting the terrain as he goes. Finally, after much travel, Makyo reaches his destination, the sea. The vast expanse of water stretches out before him, a sight that fills him with a sense of accomplishment. "The sea," he exclaims, a mixture of awe and relief in his voice. The endless horizon offers a momentary respite from the dangers of the cursed land, a place where Makyo can gather his thoughts and plan his next move. "Let's get some salt from the seawater right away," he decides, eager to start the process of salt extraction. But as he surveys the beach, something catches his eye, an unexpected sight that causes him to pause. What's that over there?" he wonders aloud, his curiosity piqued. As Makyo approaches the mysterious object on the beach, he is shocked to discover what appears to be a human figure lying motionless at the water's edge. "A human?" he whispers in disbelief, his eyes widening in surprise. The figure, partially submerged in the waves, is unmistakably humanoid, yet the horns on the girl tell us she isn't human. Makyo's instincts kick in and he rushes over to investigate, hoping that she is still alive. Makyo examines the young demon woman, her body battered and bruised from the harsh sea. She murmurs faintly, her voice barely audible over the sound of the waves. Makyo kneels beside her, his expression a mix of concern and urgency. He realizes that she is in a critical condition, barely clinging to life. "She's barely holding on," he mutters, his mind racing as he tries to figure out what to do next. The situation is dire, and Makyo is unsure if he should get involved. Is it bad to get involved? He questions himself, torn between helping the stranger and the risks that come with it. He decides to pretend he didn't see anything, but his face shows his conflicting feelings. In the next moment, driven by a sense of duty and compassion, Makyo makes a bold decision. "What am I doing?" he exclaims as he gathers leaves from the nearby forest to create a makeshift remedy, being chased by a dinosaur-like creature. The urgency of the situation has him moving quickly, his hands trembling as he runs. The scene shifts to a tense standoff as Makyo, still tending to the young woman, mutters, "The forest rat's food." Remembering that, though it tastes bad, it replenishes energy. Time passes, and Makyo is seen standing against the backdrop of the fading light. The situation seems dire, and with a determined look, he mutters, "I've done what I can." The urgency of the moment presses on him as he recognizes the necessity of finding food by a basic but immediate need. The sun is already disappearing below the horizon, and time is running out. Makyo's search for sustenance leads him to the shore, where he is seen preparing grilled crabs over an open flame. The crackling of the fire and the aroma of the roasting crab signify a small victory in the face of adversity. Makyo takes a moment to savor his creation, biting into the succulent meat and especially enjoying the miso, exclaiming, "Delicious." However, his moment of tranquility is abruptly interrupted. A sound catches his attention, and he looks up in alarm. Before he can react, he finds himself in a tight spot as he exclaims, "Darn, I got caught up with the crab!" The sudden appearance of the mysterious girl adds to the unexpected turn of events. She approaches Makyo with an innocent yet perplexing demeanor, uttering a simple "ow" as she walks toward him, her presence bringing an air of mystery to the scene. The girl's eyes meet Makyo's as he offers her a piece of the crab, asking, "Want to eat it?" Her intentions remain unclear, but the gesture is oddly endearing, and she nods rapidly, accepting the food. Makyo, still reeling from the surprise, watches as Chair eagerly bites into the crab, her expression one of pure delight. Her contentment is palpable as she relishes the taste, her cheeks flushed with happiness. His thoughts are interrupted when Cher calls him by the name Makyo, a name she seems to have adopted for him despite his protests that it's not his real name. The miscommunication is evident as Cher continues to call him Makyo, while he mutters under his breath, "No, that's not my name. It's too troublesome to correct her." This moment highlights the odd dynamic between the two, with Makyo caught between exasperation and a reluctant acceptance of the situation. Makyo's curiosity about the girl grows as he asks her, "What's your name?" In an innocent demeanor, contrasting Makyo's, she replies, "Chur." As they continue to converse, Makyo inquires if she is still hungry. She seems genuinely concerned, even though she has already consumed most of the crab. Makyo responds that there's no more food left, trying to convey the situation. Cher, however, seems to not understand, as they do not speak the same language. She looks confused and repeats the word "none" with a puzzled expression, as if she doesn't fully grasp the concept of the word. The conversation takes a turn when Makyo asks Cher how she ended up in this desolate place. She struggles to articulate her story, using drawings in the sand to illustrate her journey. The drawings, though simple, depict a conflict among demons, hinting at a chaotic past that led her to this point. Makyo, although not fully understanding the details, deduces that Cher might have escaped from a dangerous situation, adding another layer of mystery to her character. He watches as she draws, his thoughts racing as he tries to piece together the puzzle of her origins. As the night progresses, the two of them settle near a makeshift fire, boiling seawater to produce salt. Makyo's practical nature is evident as he explains the process to Cher, who watches curiously. Cher, on the other hand, speaking in a language Makyo doesn't fully understand, suddenly conjures a massive fireball, startling Makyo, who exclaims, "Magic! It's huge!" The sheer size and power of the fireball leave him in awe. The fire roars to life, fueled by Cher's magic, as Makyo tries to keep up with the sudden changes around him. The intensity of the flames is overwhelming, and Makyo finds himself in a state of disbelief, questioning what she is doing all of a sudden. Makyo asks Cher if she will tend to the fire for him, and she nods, continuing to watch the fire with a curious expression. Makyo, caught between concern and intrigue, begins to wonder about Cher's true nature and the implications of her presence in his land. As he prepares to rest for the night, he can't help but think that things are getting strange, and he contemplates the possibility of learning magic from her in exchange for letting her stay. The next morning, Makyo wakes up to a surprising sight. Cher is clinging to him, fast asleep with a content smile on her face. As he groggily sits up, he notices the large amount of salt produced from the seawater, a testament to her work the night before. However, his thoughts are quickly interrupted by the pressing need to continue their journey. Makyo gently tries to wake Cher, but she is reluctant to leave her comfortable spot. Eventually, she agrees, albeit sleepily, to follow him home. Makyo, realizing that having an extra pair of hands might be beneficial, decides to bring Cher along with him, acknowledging that things get done faster with two people. As they make their way through the forest, Makyo begins to formulate a plan. He intends to let Cher stay at his place for a while, thinking that eventually he'll have her build a boat and send her back to wherever she came from. However, for now, he's content with the idea of having some company, even if it's just temporary. Cher, on the other hand, starts enthusiastically saying, "frog," not understanding what Makyo said, her eyes lighting up with excitement as she runs behind him. Her childlike enthusiasm is both endearing and exasperating for Makyo, who can only sigh as he watches her struggle to keep up with him. She doesn't seem to have much energy, he muses, noting how quickly she tires out and how weak she seems. The sight reminds Makyo of his old self, a time when he too had just arrived to the demonic realm. As they arrive at the cave and step inside, Cher's eyes widen in amazement, her face lighting up with joy as she exclaims, "Ooh, welcome home!" Makyo is momentarily taken aback by her enthusiasm, but he quickly regains his composure, saying a simple, "I'm back," as he enters. Cher, copying him, starts to say, I'm home," much to Makyo's dismay. "This is my house," he exclaims, trying to assert some control over the situation. But Cher is already exploring every nook and cranny, poking around and touching everything with unabashed curiosity. Makyo can only watch in exasperation as she examines his belongings, touching his armor and peering into the fireplace where bread is made. He tries to stop her, saying, "Stop touching my stuff without permission." But his words fall on deaf ears as Cher continues her exploration. As she finally settles down to rest, falling asleep almost instantly, Makyo is left to ponder the situation. He notes that she must have gotten tired from walking in the demon realm, causing her to fall asleep so quickly. It's a small comfort, but it allows him a moment of peace to reflect on the bizarre turn his life has taken. Alone with his thoughts, Makyo contemplates the decision to bring Cher into his home. He admits to himself that he did it on a whim, thinking she might be useful, but now he's starting to have doubts. She might just be a burden, actually, he muses as the reality of the situation begins to sink in. He's aware that harboring demons could lead to serious consequences if he's discovered, and the thought of being arrested weighs heavily on his mind. The uncertainty of his actions and the potential risks begin to gnaw at him, casting a shadow over his initial optimism. As the night deepens, Makyo's resolve begins to waver. He realizes that, despite his best intentions, he's not sure if he made the right choice. His solitary life in the demon realm has been upended by Cher's arrival, and the thought of sending her back starts to seem like the best option. "I like living alone in the demon realm," he declares, as if trying to convince himself of the decision he's about to make. But even as he steels himself to wake her up and send her away, he hesitates. There's a part of him that doesn't want to be alone again, a part that finds comfort in Cher's presence, even if it's just a little. Makyo's hand hovers over Cher, ready to wake her up and explain everything properly. But as he reaches out, Cher, still half asleep, murmurs his name, "Makyo." The soft sound of her voice and the warmth of her touch catch him off guard. For a moment, he's frozen, unsure of what to do. It's a moment of connection, however brief, that makes him reconsider his decision. As Cher sleeps, her dreams seem to be troubled. She murmurs incoherent words, her face contorted in a mix of fear and sadness. "Frog, Cher, none," she whispers, tears welling up in her eyes. Makyo watches in silence, his heart heavy with empathy. He realizes that Cher, despite her outward cheerfulness, carries her own burdens and fears. In this moment of vulnerability, Makyo sees a reflection of himself in Cher. Both of them lost, both of them with no place to return to, and decides to let her stay. With this strange encounter, a new chapter in Makyo's life begins. The peculiar life in the cursed land with a demon. The day begins with Cher breathing heavily, clearly fatigued. Her eyes are wide and sweat drips from her face, signaling how exhausted she has become from the current challenge. She looks over at Makyo, struggling to catch her breath. Makyo, she gasps, still out of breath. Makyo watches her calmly, assessing the situation before commenting, "You don't have much stamina. Without it, you won't make it in this demon land." His words are pointed, but filled with concern for her well-being, implying that survival in this harsh environment requires more than just determination. As Chair stumbles around, a large bird-like creature behind her squawks, adding to the scene's absurdity. Cher's attempt at maintaining composure is shattered when she collapses onto the ground, overwhelmed by fatigue. Makyo doesn't react outwardly, but observes her, showing quiet patience, perhaps signaling that Cher still has much to learn. Cher's face contorts with confusion when Makyo mentions training. "Train?" she asks, the word foreign to her ears in this moment. But Makyo remains calm and reassuring, offering, "I'll train you, Cher." Makyo instructs her to begin with the simple task of catching as many forest rats as she can. Cher is shown diving into action with a sense of determination, her energy restored as she chases after small rats in the dense forest. Her expression is filled with newfound resolve as she grabs one of the creatures with both hands. However, it's not long before she loses her footing and stumbles yet again, falling face first into the ground as the rats scatter away. The struggle is evident, but Cher's effort is commendable. Despite her failure, she triumphantly holds up one of the rat's tail, her face beaming with pride. She's learning, though clumsily, the small victories she earns give her hope. Next, combat training, Makyo announces, signaling the next phase of their preparations for survival in the Demon Land. Combat training begins, and Cher is quickly thrust into a high-stakes scenario. She conjures a large fireball with all her might, releasing it with a dramatic flourish. She completely misses the monster she was targeting. "Whoa! Don't shoot such a huge fireball for no reason," Makyo exclaims, taken aback by Cher's reckless enthusiasm. "Compact is better. Make sure to aim properly," he instructs her, emphasizing the importance of precision in combat. Cher, however, appears overwhelmed by the situation. She hesitates in the face of danger as the large, imposing creature approaches. "You'll die if you're careless. Shoot now!" Makyo commands, his voice urging her to take action before it's too late. The pressure mounts as Cher panics, her hands trembling. Her aim is off, causing the fireball to miss the creature entirely and hit Makyo. "Where are you aiming at?" Makyo's voice echoes with frustration as Cher starts to shoot fireballs all over the place with intensity. She manages to land a hit on the creature, causing Makyo to acknowledge her efforts. "Oh, you hit it." Cher smiles, proud of the small victory she achieved, though the situation was far from ideal. Cher, surprisingly filled with confidence, stands with her chest puffed out, visibly proud of her accomplishment. Makyo looks at her, unimpressed. "Why are you so proud of yourself?" "Kinda irritating," he mutters under his breath, his exasperation evident. As the sun sets, casting a warm glow over the forest, they reflect on how long it took to defeat the Emerald Monkey. The task seemed small at first, but in reality it took all day. "It's not worth constantly being on guard," Makyo says with a hint of relief, though he remains skeptical of their future prospects. "The future looks bleak," he adds, doubting Cher's current abilities in the face of what's to come. Around a campfire where Cher and Makyo sit quietly, the fire crackles between them as they both process the events of the day. Makyo's mind drifts to a new possibility. "Cher, teach me magic," Makyo suddenly requests, his voice soft but serious. Cher looks surprised at first, but soon her expression softens as she contemplates the idea. She holds out her hand, demonstrating the flow of magic with her fingers. Makyo watches carefully, studying her every move, feeling the surge of magic flowing between them. "This is magic power," he thinks, finally understanding the mystical force that surrounds them both. As the training progresses, something shifts. Makyo senses a strange feeling as the magic flows through him. "Something feels really strange," he mutters, his brows furrowed in confusion. Cher's expression shifts as well, and in an instant, she lunges at him, her behavior erratic. "What's wrong all of a sudden?" Makyo stumbles backward, caught off guard by her sudden aggression. He watches as Cher storms off in frustration, leaving him puzzled by her sudden change in demeanor. As they continue their training, Cher tells Makyo that his magic power is unusually high. "What?" My magic power is high? He questions, surprised by the discovery. Cher is equally confused as she nods, sitting nearby and looking at him with wide eyes. Yet I don't use magic. What a waste, he muses, pondering tapped potential he's been neglecting for so long. As he reflects, he begins to realize that his training in the demon land may have amplified his abilities in ways he hadn't anticipated. Wait a minute, Makyo exclaims, piecing together the clues as to why his magic power seems to have spiked so dramatically. Makyo admits to Chair that he did not notice his magic growth since he never used magic in battle. Then he suddenly remembers that he can use basic life magic. They continue their exploration of magic. Makyo shows Chair his basic life magic. Chair seems disappointed by the display. Chair explains to Makyo that the flow of magic is all about simple visualization. Magic is all about visualization? Makyo asks, puzzled by the simplicity of the concept. Chair explains further, but Makyo remains doubtful, wondering if such small magic can be useful in combat situations. He tries to mimic her technique, and though he manages to create a small flame, the realization dawns on him that it's not suitable for battle. Nevertheless, he begins to understand the flow of magic a little better, sensing the potential it holds, despite its slow and methodical process. The next morning, the pair continues their journey through the demon land. All right, today we'll defeat as many monsters as possible while training and head back, Makyo declares, determined to improve their combat skills. As they traverse the dangerous terrain, Makyo suggests taking the cliff route to make better time. Chair hesitates, expressing her uneasiness. If you're uneasy, why not fly with wind magic? He asks her, but Chair looks down, admitting that controlling her magic power is still difficult. No good. Is controlling magic power difficult? Makyo repeats, contemplating her struggles. He gives her no other option but to climb the cliff on her own. Their training takes an unexpected turn when they encounter a giant moth in the forest. Chair panics at the sight of the creature, screaming, "Makyo!" as the giant insect looms over her. Makyo remains calm, watching her struggle before reminding her, "This is part of the training. Try defeating it alone." Chair is horrified but has no choice but to face the creature on her own. Her hands shake as she attempts to conjure magic, but the moth releases a cloud of paralysis powder, covering Chair in an instant. Her body seizes up and she cries out in agony, her muscles locked in place. Makyo watches from a distance. "Ah," he mutters, realizing that she might not be able to handle the creature on her own. But it's too late. Makyo, unaffected by the powder, approaches calmly. Did she get hit by paralysis powder? The situation seems dire as Chair lies on the ground, paralyzed and at the mercy of the moth. But Makyo, ever the calm observer, takes a moment to consider their options. "Oh well," he mutters, casually throwing a branch as a makeshift spear, dealing with the situation. In one swift move, he slays the moth, bringing an end to the immediate danger. "Hey, Chair, are you okay?" Makyo asks, his tone unchanged despite the seriousness of the situation. Chair, still shaky from the paralysis, looks at him through tear-filled eyes. "Makyo," she whispers, overwhelmed by both relief and frustration. As the dust settles, Makyo examines the magic stone from the moth. A magic stone. "Do you want it?" he asks Chair, offering her the magical artifact as a reward for her efforts. Chair is trying to attach the magic stone to a branch to make a staff, and struggling, Makyo says to her, "I'll make it for you, so wait." Makyo offers, crafting the stone into a magic staff for her. The staff glows with a faint power, its new form imbued with the paralyzing effects of the moth. Chair holds it proudly, knowing that she has earned this small victory, despite the hardships she faced. Chair triumphantly brandishes her weapon, her face lit up with excitement. "Yahoo!" she exclaims, her joy palpable as she shows off her new weapon. The air is filled with anticipation as Chair continues her march forward, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. With a determined expression, she prepares her next move, wielding her staff with precision and unleashing a powerful attack on a large, menacing insect, striking it down with remarkable skill. As the battle continues, Makyo observes Chair's actions with amazement, noting, "A combo of paralysis magic and attack magic." Chair, with unwavering focus, launches a devastating attack on the insect, combining her magical abilities to subdue the creature effectively. The characters seem to have mastered a deadly combo, and they proceed to hunt monsters in the area, using their newfound skills to their advantage. For the next few days, they tirelessly hunted, honing their skills and using the new paralysis combo. Their journey takes them deeper into the forest, where they encounter new challenges. Makyo, visibly satisfied with their progress, expressed his happiness, noting how their pace has increased and their movements have become more synchronized. Meanwhile, he still struggles with the visualization aspect of magic and seems slightly frustrated by the time it takes for his magic to activate. Cher, on the other hand, remains focused, ready to face whatever comes next. As they move forward, Cher notices a group of imps lurking nearby. Those are imps in a group, Makyo warns her, telling her to wait since it would be dangerous. Back off, there are too many of them, Makyo warns her, urging caution. Cher attacks the imps with her paralyzing magic, hitting all of them. The imps fall from the tree, but the tree starts to shake and groan, catching our adventurers off guard. The sudden appearance of a massive tree-ent, a tree-like creature whose presence dominates the landscape. The ground shakes as the tree-ent looms over them, its expression one of ancient wrath. The next moment is filled with tension as the tree-ent makes its presence known with a deep, resonating or that echoes through the forest. The adventurers, now facing an even greater threat, realize the dire situation they are in. "It's a tree-ent," exclaims Makyo, his voice filled with a mix of fear and awe. Cher, with quick reflexes, unleashes a powerful attack on the tree-ent, aiming to halt its advance. However, the tree-ent proves to be a formidable opponent, and despite her best efforts, Makyo, realizing the futility of their efforts, urgently advises Cher, "They're not opponents we can beat. Run!" The urgency in his voice underscores the gravity of their predicament. With the tree-ent's roots and branches lashing out at them, the two adventurers make a desperate attempt to escape. Makyo, using his agility, dodges the tree-ent's attacks while carrying Cher on his back. The ground beneath them trembles as the tree-ent's massive roots tear through the earth, threatening to ensnare them. Despite their best efforts, the tree-ent's relentless assault leaves them struggling to stay ahead. As they race to escape, Makyo realizes that the tree-ent's paralysis effect is beginning to take hold, slowing them down further. "The paralysis is taking effect," he exclaims, fear evident in his voice. Makyo grabs Cher and leaps out of the tree-ent's reach, narrowly avoiding its crushing blow. The tree-ent, enraged by their escape, continues to pursue them, its massive form crashing through the forest. Makyo's strength begins to wane as the paralysis takes a stronger hold, but he refuses to give up. "Even if it's just one step faster," he mutters to himself, pushing his body to its limits. Cher, clinging to him tightly, tries to maintain her composure despite the overwhelming danger. The tree-ent's relentless pursuit continues, and it becomes clear that they will be crushed by one of its roots. When Makyo remembers something from his dream and jumps, leaping into the air high above the tree-ent. Both looking confused while in the air, now free from the immediate threat, they land roughly on the ground below, their bodies battered and bruised. "Gwa!" they both cry out as he hits the ground, the impact jarring their already weakened bodies. As they struggle to regain their footing, the tree-ent's ominous presence remains, its deep reverberating through the air. The adventurers, exhausted but alive, take a moment to catch their breath. They pant, the adrenaline from their escape slowly wearing off. Cher, looking back at the tree-ent in the distance, realizes the gravity of what they just faced. As the two reflect on what just happened, "Cher, was that your magic?" Makyo asks, clearly puzzled by the events that transpired. Cher, still recovering from the ordeal, denies using any magic, but responds with a simple, "Ah!" Pointing at Makyo, trying to make sense of it all, he wonders aloud, "Huh? Did I use some kind of magic?" He recalls the strange vision that flashed before his eyes during the battle, a vision of a mysterious board that has appeared in his dreams since childhood. "Through that board, I feel like I've learned various images of magic," he muses, still unsure of the connection between the vision and the events that unfolded. Cher uses recovery magic on Makyo, healing his wounds and restoring his strength. "Recovery magic!" he exclaims in surprise, feeling the warmth of the spell wash over him. "Thank you," as the companion expresses his gratitude. Despite the relief that comes with their recovery, the companion remains confused about how Cher performed the spell. "How do you do recovery magic?" he asks, still perplexed. Chair, unable to speak his language, provides a visual explanation to him. Makyo, more confused with the explanation, shrugs and says, "I have no idea at all what that means." Their journey continues, with a vast landscape stretching out before them, filled with new challenges and mysteries yet to be uncovered.
That's the climax for today, folks. Let's savor that sweet, sweet post-plot glow. Thanks for tuning in, my cultured connoisseurs. If you loved this recap, make sure to subscribe for more updates on this story and many others, and leave a comment while you're at it. See you in the next recap. Let's see how much deeper we can get into the plot next time.